respected Sri Gopinath, Madam Silu, most respected friends. While I was listening to my good young friend Father John, I felt bitterly disappointed in having not brought my wife with me this time, so that she also might have understood my greatness in detail. If Father John will be inviting me again here and he promises that he will do the welcome words, I will certainly try to bring my wife along next time to compensate the loss I feel today. Father John is a friend who has come to my life in later years. I may say that I should have had known him much earlier, but since there is so much of an age difference, I cannot expect otherwise. But I was really surprised when on the first occasion I met him last year in Devagiri Public School. I found him not only an excellent principal and a teacher, but also one of the finest environmentalists. He made the campus in Devagiri Public School almost like a Garden of Eden without Adam and Eve, of course. But it was so beautiful. And he was so gracious to give me a few siblings also from his garden. And the greatest privilege he had extended to me was, while I was serving in Delhi, asking me through one of his friends who happened to be my own student in Palai St. Thomas College, now who is a leading lawyer in the Supreme Court, Advocate Wills. Through him, he asked me to give a contribution, a piece of article on Saint Chavara. I took it as a privilege because I myself was working on a book on Father Chavara, which I hope will get released in August. My book is Father Chavara, the Legend and the Legacy, which I already have published a short Malayalam version of that. But the original work was proposed in English. So when I found the Malayalam copy of the book Father John edited and brought out, I was further inspired to finish my book at the earliest. That is why originally I planned it to have it towards the end of the year. But I thought that I must speed up, since Father John could produce such a beautiful piece of work in such a short span. So time is not or should not be a constraint in doing such things. And I'm very grateful to Father John Manaratara for the kind words he spoke. And I must commence my words by congratulating him, because I read in yesterday's papers. I was in Palghat yesterday, but I read there in Malayalam papers that his Devagiri Public School has recorded wonderful results. You cannot take results alone as a criterion for determining the quality of an institution or the quality of a principal, but that is also one of the major factors which we will have to take into account. So I am very proud that Father John was able to register such a beautiful record of success for his students in the exams, the results of which has come just the previous day. I have found him as a teacher par excellence and a person with such refined qualities. Often we know that principals and vice chancellors are rated as very arrogant people, isn't it? Or very impersonal, with very hard hearts, having no sentiments. But when we are happy to find a person otherwise, I have had the good fortune of coming across with some such principals in some of the schools and colleges. It depends on who captains the ship. So before coming to the teachers, I would like to make a mention that the quality of the crew is determined by the quality of the captain. If the captain is good, crew also will prove themselves to be good. So it depends everywhere. In Malayalam, you also might have heard the famous saying that Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. That is a eternal principle. Whether it is in the kingdom, whether it is in the country, whether it is in a university, whether it is in a college or in a school, or even in a family. It all depends on the head of the family, head of the institution, head of the nation, who actually shapes, determines the quality level of the rest of the thing. That is why we say that the choice of the captain is the most important. Choice of the head. We know that the post of a head is not a comfortable one. It is a thankless job, no doubt. Everybody will have only complaints against him. Most of the people will target him as their enemy number one. I am saying this except this school, isn't it? Except in Silver Hills, perhaps. This is the general principle I am saying. So usually no principal, no vice chancellor, no headmaster will get a good word of compliment, a word of thanks from anyone. and he or she must be prepared to face continuous ingratitude. That is part of the job. You have to accept it. But at the same time, it also offers us certain pleasures, certain privileges, some mental satisfactions, some justification before our conscience and before God. This is applicable to a teacher also. Teacher's job is also not a very comfortable job. To a certain extent, that is also a thankless job. Teachers also receive more criticism than thanks, or congratulations, or compliments. It is like that of a housewife, isn't it? Housewife never gets any compliment, even if she is giving every day very good food to husband and children. But if by some unfortunate reason, if on a single day, if the cooking has gone wrong, I am sure that there will be much of a hue and cry against that sin, at least for a month, isn't it? They conveniently forget that all the other days she was giving them good food. Exactly, it is the same way things are happening for a teacher also. If there is something wrong coming once in a blue moon, the teacher is always taken to the task. Then authorities will forget, parents will forget, students will forget what the teacher had been doing so nicely well during the previous period. That is what we can say, the way of the world. That is the way of the world. So here I am so happy to find this kind of a large group of teachers. Why we are here today? This program has been titled as Faculty Development Program. Practically, this faculty development program which schools or colleges are organizing for the teachers just on the eve of a new academic year is to be taken as a self-audit or a social audit that the teachers together are making with the authorities. So these kind of programs, it should help us to have an introspection. We are actually making an examination of our own conscience as a teacher, an examination and analysis of our own record of achievements as a teacher, and also our own failures, lapses that we find in ourselves in the role of a teacher. That is why I say that it is a self-audit, it is a social audit. It is a must. We find for registered companies, registered societies, they are under obligation to have an audit, annual audit. It is the same. First, they deal with facts and figures to find how things had been managed during the previous year. The second part of every audit is consisting of the suggestions, the proposals, the remedial measures that the auditors are placing before that institution, how they can improve, how they can make things better than what it was. So the role of the resource person in this kind of orientation program is the role of an auditor. Just to help as the auditor is helping the institution to find